Hello and welcome to today's Facecast. The church, the Christian church, has had an on-off relationship with the question of alcohol over the years. There's been a puritanical movement at one time which said that the church and alcohol were enemies. The temperance movement of past years said that all Christians should be alcohol free, and in fact you shouldn't have any alcohol, even wine, to celebrate communion in churches. Those churches would have a juice as the symbolic representation of Jesus instead of wine. Other areas of the church have said that no, alcohol in moderation is okay, and you might fit into one or other of those categories. But the question of alcohol in society at large is quite a live one, isn't it? Because we tend to be, in this country, Western Europe, consumers of alcohol quite a lot. In the poorer countries of this world, you don't get it so much. But in days past, and when we were a poor country, of course, alcohol was used as an alternative to water because water wasn't pure. Yet alcohol had to be purified to make beer or wine. Interesting subject to study, alcohol, as some people do in great depth. Anyway, there's this bit here that I want to talk about today. It's in the letter, St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians. It's chapter 5, verses 17 and 18. It says, "Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit." It's a wonderful play on words, isn't it? Don't get drunk on wine, but be filled with the Spirit, because we often think of a spirit as being an alcoholic drink. People would tend to drink spirits, such as whiskey, gin, brandy, and so on. And they also drink wine, of course, a lot of. So here, the speaker, Paul, is using this terminology that people are used to, talking about something they are familiar with. Don't get drunk on wine, he said. That's not the sort of drunkenness you should have, because that leads to the wrong things happening. He mentions debauchery, bad behaviour, lewd, unholy behaviour. And it leads to other things too, doesn't it? As we know, it can lead to death on the roads. It can lead to abuse in families. It can lead to all sorts of things, getting drunk on something. Instead, be filled with the Spirit. That's a different kind of filling. Different kind of spirit. It's the Holy Spirit of God that brings all sorts of good things to people. It brings peace and love and hope and appreciation and encouragement. It brings the gifts of the Spirit. It brings the joy of the Spirit. So it's the Spirit of God we should be pursuing and filling ourselves with, not the spirit that comes from alcohol. Does that mean we should not touch alcohol at all? Maybe. If you have a tendency to drink too much of it, if you have a tendency to get off your trolley too easily, you should probably stop drinking it, because it's going to affect you and your life negatively eventually. Some people are more resistant to alcohol. They only drink a little bit every now and then. I quite like a nice cold lager with my mealtime of an evening on a warm sunny day like this. A little bit now and then. Some people like a glass of wine. Fine, if it's in moderation and you're not getting drunk on it. But instead, look to the Holy Spirit of God to provide your drunkenness. Bye for now. See you soon.